On a more perky note, I saw my aunt today. I haven't seen her in like 3 months. I love her, she's cute, but I really don't give a fuck about people, especially people that are in their own world pretending to care about others. And again, and for her, she believes she cares. Like if something positive happens with me, she'll feel happy. If something negative happens with me, she'll feel sad. That's basically it. But of zero engagement. So let me retrace the conversation that happened between me and her. And I saw her and I was very much like, meh, whatever. Okay, Khalto, how are you doing? And she was like, hi, Dari, Habibi, I miss you, nice beard. Oh, man, I miss you so much. And I go like, why don't you talk to me? Why don't you message me from time to time, right? Like I say that to shut people up, I'm not gonna lie. And she looks at me, she goes like, the problem, I don't have your number. I was like, it's a shame you don't know anyone that knows me, right? Because my logic is if you actually like cared enough to talk to me, you will literally like fucking ask my mom, she's your sister, and take my number and message her. And her response is, "Why are you being so mean?" Because I'm calling her out basically, and that took a grin on my face, and I was like, "Okay, all right. Is there anything you fucking want?" She said, "No." I'm like, "All right, bye. Take care." Sets the mood. For some reason, I wanted to talk about this. Uh, I really see a lot of people like this. A lot of people are like this. And I don't want to say I'm not. I notice when I am, but I don't actually make these claims. Oh, I was thinking about you, and oh my God, I miss you. I literally go like, "How have you been? I should have called you a long time ago. I should have figured out where you are." I would have like just maybe owned up to something or enjoyed the fact that I got to see you. And if it really mattered to me, I'd actually like make sure like I have your contact or I call you sometime soon. But everyone isn't like this. So I feel like our interactions with people are always emotionally void. There's that emptiness that's created. There's that emptiness that's necessary. I don't know if it's for protection or it's just because other people feel uncomfortable filling such voids. They're so used to certain patterns that they can't actually like engage beyond what's going on. And that's something as simple like in no fa- we're family, right? Like how the fuck does that work? If with family you're like this, how are you with everyone else? There's a trick to that question actually. They are like that because it's family. With everyone else is easy. Why? Because whatever feelings they would have, love expressed, and just engagement, bond they would have with them, it just basically inches one step at a time every single time something special happens, or inches backwards every time something not special happens. But with family, we're supposed to have this whole bond. We support each other, we love each other, we. But throughout our growing period as family, we never actually got to engage with that side. It was always assumed that that's the case. And as kids, it's easier. Why? Because the adults don't give a fuck, man. And they literally go like, I'm an adult and I love you unconditionally, so I'm gonna beat you up and apologize later. Or I'm gonna yell at you or I'm gonna put you in your room just because I'm in a bad mood. And for them, those things are pretty cool. Like, I still loved you, I tried my best. Granted, that's what happens. But when we become adults, the kids, and we look at them, and then we're actually look at them and go like, "Hey, man, we're family." And then what do we get? Everything that we should have built growing up with them, we never did. So right now, it becomes the awkwardness where there's something that's supposed to exist there, and it's not. And we all can see because we're family, we're supposed to find this love, like care for each other unconditionally. The reality is, there is no crap that's given to anyone simply because it never was a thing. It was more of a responsibility towards each other than caring and loving. It was more like I might as well like held you for 9 months. I might as well just like make sure you survive until you're 7. Make sure you're not an asshole by the time you're like 12 or 14, and make sure you kind of like graduate by the time you're 21. And when the time comes, there was no relationship built at all between them. It's funny because right now I'm thinking the closest person to me, my mom, she always gives me advice, right? Sound advice. She's absolutely correct. But then one time I looked at her and be like, Mom, please stop giving me advice. And she was like, Why? I go like, what do I know about you? And she froze. 5 minutes later, literally 5 minutes later, I'm like, Mom, what do I know about you? And she was like, you know that I'm your mom and everything you see at the house. And I respond with like, yes, but what do I know about you? No stories were ever shared about the past. No, no actual connection. No relationship to her her decision making process at all. It's literally always just been, I'm your mom, you need to listen to me. But that never created a bond of trust. Like, I believe what she's saying is true, but it doesn't resound with me. Resound? Resonate. It doesn't resonate with me. What she says makes sense. It just doesn't click in a way that I trust it. I have to experience it myself simply because there is no trust between me and her. It's funny because when I was having that conversation with her, I was like, tell me one thing from your past. And it's as if she has blocked everything. When I say everything, it goes all the way till when I was like 17. She just remembers the times where I made her lose her shit, but everything else is completely like in a fucked up way, man. Everything about her past is not really something that's worthy of being called a life, including the children she had and including the family she had and everything. Not one of them was we are living. It was literally survival, survival, survival. And I don't like it when people here go like, "No, that's how everyone is." I don't like it when people say that. They kind of take the consciousness out of people, like the actual intention behind people and the interaction behind people. They take it out. I don't think it's fair. It really isn't just because like it limits us. If I were to always blame something for whatever, if I were to always blame something but not take responsibility, fuck, if you take responsibility one out of every 100 things that happen, that's enough for you over a course of like 30 years, 40 years to come out of your fucking self. I really believe just that 1%, because a lot of shit happen all the fucking time with us. If we just take responsibility of 1% of the shit that happens in our day, just 1% of the shit that happens in our month, that's enough. But for some fucking reason, we're okay completely like wasting any form of relationship we have with ourselves, with our mind, with our life. We're perfectly fine wasting it just because we refuse to take any responsibility for any situation that makes us feel uncomfortable. It is never us. And that's what happened with my aunt today. I literally was like, it's a shame you don't know anyone that has my number. And her response was, I was mean. Not she was full of shit. I was mean. Because I literally told her, like, if you actually thought about me and you could have wanted to call, could have asked any one of my aunts that have my number to take my number. Stop telling me this nonsense. Because the more you say it, the less I respect you, and it can't be helped. Can it? When somebody over and over uses the same thing, and it's just like when you're fed up, how do you feel? Me saying this hurts, by the way. Me saying this sucks. It's real. I feel like I isolate myself when I do these things, when I process things a certain kind of way. But how much bullshit are you willing to tolerate? Or when do you stop tolerating such bullshit? Because this bullshit is always around. But at one point, you kind of like, You have no more fucks to give. At one point, you start realizing the fucks you have because life literally, like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I should use this expression, but like, like a woman is born with enough ovaries, right? With enough eggs, sorry, in her ovaries. And in her ovaries? Forget the ovaries. Women are born with a certain amount of eggs. That's it. Which means something about life because like your existence is already marked ever since your mom was born, which means you're already alive before you actually come to this earth. And I really think human beings are the same way when it comes to fucks because at first you're like, yay, fucks everywhere, and then eventually like they're limited. It's like I have limited fucks to give. I cannot like waste them, and eventually like you have one or two fucks that you save every year. Like one fuck a year is all I want to give. I don't know, dude. Uh, Such a vibe. I'm not necessarily in a happy mood right now, but I'm still very much grateful for a lot of things. Very positive, very excited, and in a way, I just have 6 hours that got eliminated from my calendar. That means I have a couple of things I need to do right now, and I'll be able to build a website. Eh? I'll be able to build a website. I'll build my website, and I'll actually build the other people's website. I'll build it and I'll show it to them, and I'll tell them if they want it, they have to pay me. I'll just build it, man, because I want the experience. I'll just build it because I want to code. I'll build it because if this is not the universe telling me that everything you're doing is just avoiding doing the one thing you want to do. And for what? Why am I doing all this stuff? I studied them. I know I need them. But for money. I need the money, man. I need to pay rent. I need to eat. Yalla. Let me go before I start tearing up and getting more upset. Thank you guys.